Hello, my name is Daniela Monaco. I am the corporate recruiter here with Anza Management, and today we are going to be going over our Anza hiring process. So, the first thing we're going to be going over is posting your ads. Now, this is very important because we are going to be going over any type of requirements that you have for your specific position that we have available. We're also going to be going over where we're going to be posting, whether it's going to be newspapers, publications, and locations we're going to be posting in. We are also going to be going over spreading the word via referrals. Now, some examples of what we could be posting on the ads is as below. So for the first example, it looks like your property needs a candidate that's bilingual to the demographic of your residents and prospects. We could definitely add on the title that we're looking for a bilingual leasing consultant. Example two is a specific property where your applicant needs to have more experience with plumbing and electrical skills. That's another thing we could be posting on there. How many years of plumbing and electrical skills we require. Next, we are going to be talking about where to advertise. Now, you know your area best, so it's always great to let your recruiter know what types of newspapers, what types of ads are nearby, where you feel people will be looking at a lot, and we could definitely post in that area. Up next is going to be our referral program. Anza Management has a great referral program. Now, you can earn up to 500 per referrals. It's always a great way to attract any type of candidate. And now for this, it's very important that you let your current employees know that we have openings. HR is always sending out flyers. So make sure that they're available for your entire staff to view. Remind your staff that we're always posting on our ADP homepage. And if they have any questions about any specific opening, they can always contact me. Now, our second step is going to be screening and interviewing. Now, at this point, your candidate has already applied on ADP. You can view their application there, and we are going to be screening. Now, on ADP, you do have a set of screening questions that are specific to your opening. This can always be edited. For example, we just spoke about a candidate where we needed someone with specific electrical and plumbing skills. Now, while we do have those set of questions already there, you can always add to those questions and ask, for that one, we could ask, how many years of plumbing experience do you have? How many years of electrical plumbing experience do you have? This is going to be your first step in screening the candidate. Now that you've screened your candidate, you're going to be setting up for an interview. Now, it's very important that you try to set aside 2 hours of your day for interviews only, uninterrupted time. You can always set interviews anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes. It's always great to plan ahead, have a good sense of urgency because this is important. You don't want to lose your applicants. Now, if you need to, after that first interview with you, and you need your regional to have a second interview with the candidate, always speak to your regional ahead of time. Let them know, today I'm going to be interviewing. If I like and would like to move forward with one of the candidates, what times are you available for a second interview? That way, on the spot, when you're interviewing these candidates, you can already let them know, I would like to set up a second interview with you on this date. Are you available? Now, due to COVID, a lot of things have changed, and virtual interviewing is used a lot lately, and it's a great tool to use. So let's go through some of the steps. Now, obviously, we have different platforms that we could be using: FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, etc. Now, for this, you want to line up the necessary technology and give it a test run. So if you want, set aside maybe 20 minutes of your day the day before. Call yourself, set something up on your phone through your camera, just to make sure that your end is working, that you're not having any issues. And if so, then you can go about everything else accordingly. Now, be sure to have your interview questions ready. Always have everything prepared beforehand. Make sure you choose a clean, quiet, and well-lit space for your interviews. You don't want to have any type of distractions in the background. You can also use your own backgrounds like I'm using now. Be professional, be personable, because remember, you are doing these over over FaceTime, over Zoom. It's not going to be the same as if you're doing them in person. Now, your step 3 is going to be references. Now, at this point, you and your regional have already agreed that you would like to move forward with the candidate. The next step would be doing the references. Now, when we're starting references, we're always going to be verifying either the last 4 jobs or last 7 years of employment. Now, you do the best you can for these. If you have any questions at all, you can always call me and we can review everything and I can let you know what we should be doing. So for example, let's say you have someone that in the last 2 years, they've only had 2 jobs. They're 4 years running together. We do those 2 references and then we try to move forward. Now, if you have a candidate that's had 5 jobs within the last 7 years, we're definitely going to want to do those references, all 5, because it's within those 7 years. But like I said, if you ever have any questions, you can always call your recruiter, call your regional, and we'll help you out. Now, when you're doing and verifying employment, use the questions that we have on the templates. Now, these templates you're going to be finding on ADP. You can ask your regional, will have them, human resources, anybody can help and send them to you, but they are located on your ADP homepage. And there is a reason why we have these templates, and very important to follow, because there are certain questions we can ask. For example, we can't ask how much someone has been previously making in another job. So another thing is follow up with your references on a daily basis. And this is very, very important because references should take no longer than 2 days. You want to follow up with them at least twice a day on a daily basis. If they're not getting back to you, contact human resources and we can help. Okay. You can always contact me. You can contact anybody in HR. Will be able to help you. And we don't want to lose the candidate because the reference is taking longer than 2 days. So that's very important. Any calls from the candidate at this point should always be directed to HR or the recruiter, and we can always help them out with anything they may need help with. Now, this is an example of what our reference page looks like. So you can see everything that we're requiring of them, the contact information, the company, the person you're talking to, title. Now, one thing that's important on here is going to be the comments and notes section. So you always want to ask them if they are able to give any comments on their performance. Now, step 4, this is where HR takes over. Now, HR is going to be gathering all the information you have, the application, the references, any notes you have, and we're going to be reviewing the entire thing and putting the application together for approval. Once the application has been referred, then the regional is going to be making the offer to the candidate. Only regionals are able to make offers. The offer is going to be contingent on them completing successfully both the background and the physical exam. Now, step 5 is going to be the physical and the background. Once your candidate has accepted the offer, the recruiter will send them to complete a physical. They do have 24 hours to do their physical exam. During this phase, they're also going to be completing their background. The physical and background usually takes about 3 to 4 days. At times, it is longer or shorter, but you can always contact your recruiter and ask them what step they're at, what's going on, and we'll be more than happy to give you an update. And now, reminder again, at this point, any calls, questions, anything from the candidate should be directed directly to HR. Okay, so now we have step 6, which is getting them started. So at this point, they've successfully completed both the physical and the background. Your recruiter is going to coordinate a date and time for your candidate to start. Now, we're going to be notifying you of the start date. We're also going to be letting them know that they do need to bring 2 forms of ID with them. One is going to be proof of eligibility to work in the United States, and the other one is going to be proof of identity. Okay. It's also very important that at this time, once we let you know when they're going to be started, you have to have a computer available to help the new hire complete their paperwork. Now, friendly reminder that the new hire will be training most of their first day. So any expectations you have of them, getting right back into leasing consultant or diving right in, try to work around the fact that they will be training most of the day. They will be doing all their new hire paperwork on ADP in the morning, Then after that, they will be starting their Grace Hill training. If a new hire is sick, send them home immediately and notifying HR. Now, at this point in the morning prior to them starting, HR does contact them to ensure that they are completing a self-assessment, but it's always important to note that if you see a new hire come in and they look sick or you have any questions, call HR immediately. Now, your new hire and ADP. The new hires will be in the system the same morning up and should be ready for them to start the new hire paperwork. All new hire paperwork will be done through ADP. Your recruiter will be calling them first thing in the morning to walk them through the entire process. Now, if your new hire is living on site, it's very important for them to complete their employment agreement, which will be sent through ADP as well. Grace Hill training. Now, it's very important. Grace Hill training is not on ADP. Grace Hill training is a separate training platform. Okay, once your new hire has completed all the new hire paperwork, they must begin Grace Hill training. Now, the manager will always have an example of this sent to them the day before they start training as to what their login is going to be. If you guys have any questions, you can always contact Diana, who heads of Grace Hill. She can help you out. Office employees. IT will assign a new hire access to Yardi as needed. Usually it's the day of or the day after, but if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to call corporate and speak to IT for them. Now we have completed the entire process. Thank you all.